Welcome to Old Horse Racing. Welcome to Old Horse Racing all the time. I'm your host, Al. We're out here. This is the show for horse racing fans and horse players looking to improve their game. We do live shows in real time, handicapping shows, breaking down the races, giving out selections, and we also do pre-recorded shows. Right now, I'm up early, very early. Yes, I did get some sleep. I turned in kind of early, a little after 9. We did a live Aqueduct show yesterday. And today it's Saturday, December 17th, 2022. And we're up early and we're looking over some of the cards today. I'm going to be breaking down some of these races. I'm looking at Aqueduct right now. Have the coffee going, first cup of the day. Have horse racing on TV. So I'm just figured I'd open it up here just in case anybody had any racing questions while I happen to be at the computer anyway at this hour. So let's get this. Okay. Not a planned show. Not an actual show. It's actually just doing a little work here, prep work this morning, and I have it open. Is there anything going on in horse racing news? Most likely, most of their show's regular viewers are in bed right now. As local time, it's just after 3 a.m. in the morning. They showed a replay on television. I guess a live show is going to come on soon. I think they have some international racing going on. I was looking at Aqueduct a little bit. It's finally stopped raining over at Aqueduct today. So I'm considering doing a show covering the Big A, Aqueduct. They have some really big stakes races today. They're going to be having a lot of rain over at Gulfstream Park, so that track is probably going to be a mess. I'm curious what kind of payouts we got yesterday at Gulfstream. While we're on the subject of Gulfstream, let's look at some of those payouts. See how unpredictable they were. How about Aqueduct? What kind of payouts do we have? I did a Gulfstream show earlier in the week. I think it was a pick 6 payout. The massive payout, bombs coming in every single race. Yeah, let's look at some of the tracks and see what kind of payouts we've been getting here. It looks like Fairgrounds was very chalky. Fifth race was a $204 exacta. Second race was 62. First race, very chalky at Fairgrounds. That must have been, if you're going there looking to get rich on Fairgrounds yesterday, it wasn't happening. What about Gulfstream, the unpredictable track? First exacta 25, second exacta 16, third exacta 17. Something got to be coming up. Fourth exacta 13. Fifth exacta 27. Sixth exacta 49. That's the biggest one so far. Seventh 72. 49, 72, inching up. Eighth 136. Look how they're slowly pulling the rug out. Ninth 147, as we head towards that Rainbow 6. And the pick 6. Wow, they didn't even have a winner. Pick 6, match 5 paid $9,547 for $2. I don't get it. Pick 5, 4 match paid. If you had 4 out of 5, it was $507. How about Aqueduct? What kind of payouts did we have at Aqueduct? I have some Aqueduct PPs up right now. Starting to look over that card to see what it looks like, get an idea. Wide awake, 3:07 a.m. Feeling great. Got enough sleep. Doing good so far. Hiya, Chris. Hi, good morning. I guess it's morning. I enjoyed your comments about Linda Wright. She was gaming the system, plus she screws us with the numerous scratches. Yeah, she does. She does scratch a lot of horses. I heard that on a podcast this morning. Who was it? Oh yeah, Andy Sterling. He did a show, I guess. He was a guest on a show, Chris, and he was talking about his handicapping strategies. I listen to racing shows, of course, ones that I think can help my game. Maybe hear some new angles, Chris. And he was talking about sizing up contenders and setting up a race or plotting out a race when he's handicapping a card in advance. And when he says when Linda Rice has a couple of entries in a race, it's, you want to look them over closely and see which one fits because she regularly scratches one of the horses when she has other ones in there. But yeah, thanks for weighing in. Yeah, Baffert, I don't think, Linda Rice, I don't know how she's still racing, Chris. Like, she stays under investigation forever with the trainer getting the information about entries. Yeah, but as far as Bob Baffert goes, I'd be surprised if he gets this lifted. They're cracking down, and I did hear Stephen Christ on an interview. Um, I did hear Stephen Christ on an interview also from a year ago with the third interview with the Thoroughbred Daily News. Now, if you did a search on that Thoroughbred Daily News, Stephen Christ, you would see the interview, and he was talking about Bob Baffert, and he said, he feels that they should crack down on cheaters, but what he did is nowhere near what, say, Navarro and the Juicing King, that type of cheating. And he said he didn't even think that whatever Medina Spirit, that ointment, whatever had, was enough to affect the outcome of the race. A dab of cream, right? And that I don't believe it affected the outcome. And that was in no way can be compared to these juicers like Navarro or Dutro or something like that. But he thinks they do got to crack down, and I think that they are trying to make an example out of him. So that's where he was on it. Stephen Christ, he thought it was a bit severe what he's going through right now, but that's out there. Just look up Stephen Christ. TDN, Stephen Chris TDN. They asked him about that service. Yeah, Jason served. Yeah, the other guy. These guys are gonna get locked up. Oh yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chris. I think I'm looking at. I'm thinking I'm considering an Aqueduct show today. I think they have a card there, and they have some big stakes races today over there. I think it's the last good day of the year for Aqueduct because they don't race for a week over Christmas. Let me just check their schedule. Nyra schedule. They don't race during the holiday. And Google. I was curious about the schedule myself, which is the day they stop racing there. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't even know if they're gonna have racing next weekend. So this would probably be the big day for the year. I don't know if they race New Year's Eve. They might. Let's see. Nyra schedule. Okay, 2022 calendar. Oh, look at this. You can actually print out their 2022 calendar. I used to go to calendar day at Aqueduct. It's a beautiful calendar. They give you all the, use a ton of ink. Geez, you're better off just going. On the first of the year, they used to give out the calendar, a horse racing calendar. Uh-huh. Okay. So after Sunday, they don't have racing again. They're not going to have any racing next weekend at all. So they're going to have 10 days of no racing, and they'll resume racing on the 29th. So yeah, they're having a really big day today. They have a couple of $500,000 stakes races. I don't know what they got planned for tomorrow. Let's just check. Okay, entries. At least it's not raining here, and the raining finally stopped. There's a couple of days of a lot of rain. I don't think it's really going to affect the racing and scratches too much since there's no turf racing. Tomorrow they got 10 races too. Going to be mostly sunny. I'm just looking to see if they have any big races tomorrow at Aqueduct. They have some big purses. They have some Chad Brown entries. The main jockey crew, the Ortiz brothers and Saez and Rosario, they're down in Florida right now. Giant fields tomorrow. Unbelievable fields. Where are they getting all these horses from? Let me tell you the field sizes. Race 10, 11 entries. 12 entries in race 9. Race 8, 9 entries. Race 7, 12 entries. Race 6, 10 entries. Race 5, 9 entries. High purses though, 90,000. Race 4, 9 entries. Then 7 entries in the third, 2 in the second, and 5 in the first. But that's a strange race. It's pretty. They have a 1 and a 1A, and the 9 to 5 even money, a 9 to 5, a 6 to 1, a 7 to 2 even money. Yeah, the 1 and 1A are both 6 to 1. That's a 3-year-old and up. All righty. If there, let's see, service. Chris, if there are minimal scratches, Aqueduct has a nice card. Yeah, I guess they're giving us a good card today and tomorrow because it's really, until after Hanukkah and Christmas and the holidays are over. So it's going to be dark days. So they're giving us big cards today and tomorrow. So I'm leaning to stay in there. Javon, good. Hey, how's it going? Love this in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's 3:16 over here. I am up early. Yeah, I did get sleep, but I did get good sleep. I'm wide awake. I'm having my first cup of coffee of the day, and I'm starting to look at Aqueduct's card for today because if I get, if I go live, I plan on going live. As of right now, I'm looking at the card. If I do, I was saying yesterday, I wasn't sure which direction I was going to go as far as the racing card goes. I did Oaklawn yesterday, and I was very disappointed. I just missed the familiarity that comes with the tracks I like better. It's nice to switch up sometimes, but it was very chalky in a way, and I missed seeing the big names of the, the top jocks and the top trainers. Yeah, the Diodoro, whatever, and Cox and Maker would slip in there a little bit, but not the real big names. Hollendorfer was in there and won. The jocks, most of the jocks, it just wasn't the same. So like I said, we did that. It was a nice show. It was pretty good. It was a good turnout. and it wasn't the same electricity that, say, the New York circuit has. I know it's, the winter racing there, or the Gulf Stream, or the West Coast racing. It just wasn't there. Even the other night was more exciting over at, where was that, Turfway Park? Oaklawn, it just seemed some kind of, like I was on another planet looking at the races. And we really didn't have any big winners on the show either, like usual. So everyone was like, whoa, what's going on over at this place? So Calvin Burrell was there. How's it going, Javon? Good to see you. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I was just curious to see. So I looked at Gulfstream, and there were no real outrageous payouts until the very end. And even then, it wasn't that bad. It was very chalky in the beginning. Now I just want to see what now that I'm looking at Aqueduct today, I want to see what potentially I'm in for. It was a strange card with, okay, they had all three, the Davis brothers and sisters were there. Jackie Davis. She's the elder Davis sister, and she used to ride in the NYRA circuit in the early, around 2008, 9 or whatever. She was a regular rider on the circuit then, about 14 years ago. They had some women jockeys going at the same time. There was Jackie Davis. There was Mylan Studert. And who was the other one? Carol Cedeno was racing there. So they had a few regular women that drove on the circuit. And when I was writing for Bleacher Report Sports, I did a couple of interviews, and I had, got to talk with and articles on Mylan Studert when she was riding over there on the NYRA circuit, and she was coming back from an injury. And it was from a correspondent for Bleacher Report Sports. So that was pretty interesting back then. And yeah, one article I did was the Peter story when that broke, and Asmussen was in hot water, but he's since got cleared. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to check before I get to the actual handicapping. I wanted to see if there was any crazy finishes at Aqueduct yesterday. Okay, results for race 1, 2 bombs, $16 to $16.60 to win, $16.20 to place. Number 6, the winner, Dylan Davis. That was $175 exacta. Now that's $175 exacta, $2 exacta with only 6 entries. 7-1 over a 24-1. All right, right off the bat, they're going there. Trifecta, $610. Aqueduct in the slop. And listen to this, right? They followed that up with $124 exacta at Aqueduct. Do we even attempt this track today? With only, get this, 5 entries. No, there's 6 entries. There was a 1 and 1A. And who were the jockeys on that? Dylan Davis again. This can't be right. Okay, Dylan Davis rides another bomb, 1620 over 480, game theory. Okay, so Dylan Davis wins the first 2 there. Now we got 2 exactas, one at 175, 2 124. Who wins the third race? Okay, then we get dead chalk, $12.60 exacta. The winner of that race was Castellano. Number 4, Carmouche came in second. All right, so they get down to the cheap exacta. Race 4. Oh, another one, 76.80, but the winner paid 33.20, and the winner of that race was Eric Fuentes. I never heard of him. Comes in on a 15-1, $76. There's some prices at Aqueduct yesterday. Could we have seen these coming? 2, Manny Franco wins. Third exacta, 39. Manny Franco, the winner, paid $4.30. It's only 9 races. We're almost there. Race 6. Number 9 wins. Carmouche on a 5-2 shot over a long second place, 15-1 contender. 145 exacta in the 6th. Cancel on that. Granny's connection. Oh, brother. Now listen to this. We have a 38-1 winner, 38-20 winner in the third to start off 189 at Exacta. The balloons at Aqueduct, fourth, Lord Gatling. Winning odds 18-1. Race 8, Sweet Surprise, number 8 wins. Who are these jockeys? Gerson Hoyas, $59 Exacta. And the last race, they finish it up with another doozy. Now, I don't know which one won, whether it was the 1 or the 1A. If it was the 1, it was Jackie Davis, Dylan's sister, on a $33.20 horse to $120 Exacta. And the second place horse was brother Dylan Davis. Just beautiful, a heart-wrenching story. But I don't know for sure if it was Jackie Davis or Dylan, Jackie Davis or Vargas who won, because there was a 1 and a 1A, and it just lists coupled entry. Let's see if it was Jackie Davis. That would be beautiful. Great story right before Christmas. The sister and brother finishing first and second on absolute bombs. Let's see, 9. No, it wasn't Jackie Davis. It was the other entry, the 1A. That would have been too much. Okay. All right. Let's get down to the handicapping. Let's see. We have some racing also. I guess we got some overseas racing, right? Let me check it out. Let's see, nyra. Are you betting any of these? Is there Australian racing? There must be something going on right now. nyra bets. Log in. Come on. Oh, they changed your freaking website. Wow. I guess I have to do it with my phone. I don't even use this nyra bets website except for replays. Yeah. So I had the password memorized on my computer. You know what? Memorized on my computer. I just had to put something in there. But now they changed their login screen. Hey, I could close this. All right, we'll forget that for now. We'll just charge this up in the meantime. Race 1 at Aqueduct today. 1 mile. Now, this is the first I'm actually looking at this card. I like to go through it a little bit before, if I do a show, you have some idea that, you know, what's going on there. It's a mile. Maiden claim 20K, 32K purse for maidens 3-year-olds and up. Most of them have some experience in here already. They all do. 9 entries. North Pole, the 2 seems to be the speed. I anticipate a wet track. Not going to go overboard with this wet track. What horses excel on a wet track? Because a lot of times, oftentimes, they might be getting different conditions. They might be just getting the right conditions on a given day on a wet track, and they run an explosive race, and you think they're a wet track expert, but you want to go back and look at some of their others. For example, number 2 has 2 races on a wet track, a second and a third. And let's see how we compare them. One time it ran a 76, and Wow, I'm going to talk about this number 2 horse right away because I'm looking at it. I said it's the early speed. You want to talk about the ultimate money burner, rat, whatever you want to call this thing, a dog. What do they call those horses that hang and never get the job done? 2, Dylan Davis on this one. Its name is North Pole. It's the speed of the speed. It has a lot of nice numbers, and it opens 2-1, and it has better numbers than just about all of them in almost every race, right? A couple of them have a race here, like a single race that fits, like the 9, for example. But now we're going to go back to this 2, North Pole. Okay, I was talking. I'll finish my first thought. It has a couple of races on a wet track. Ran a 76, finished second. A 75 finished second after leading all the way into the stretch and lost by a head, right? And the race after that, it led all the way into the stretch and it lost by a neck. Now, this one has tried 15 times to win, to break the maiden, North Pole. And it has 0 victories, 4 seconds, and 7 thirds. Listen, it has a 3rd place loss. It finished 3rd, but it lost to the winner only by a neck. And its last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 races, and it finished 2nd or 3rd. And it lost by 1, 2, 3 times by a neck, and 1 time by 3/4 of a length after leading into the 3rd. It just can't get it done. Okay, let me see if there's another example of a wet track horse that has a decent figure, but this is a bad sample size because these are first timers, and not first timers, they're maidens, so none of them have raced much. So you got to mark down the 2, North Pole. It has the big early speed, and its run numbers in the 80s, for example, and none of the others are. Only a few of them have a number in the 70s. When this one's not in the 80s, it usually runs in the mid to upper 70s. It can't win for some reason. And the trainer is only a 4% trainer for the year. You get Dylan Davis up. If you want to play an exacta, sure, you got to use him. Would you use him in multi-race plays? Look at how many times he's favored too. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 of the last 4. I mean, last race, I guess they just gave up on him, and he must have been like the 3rd choice and finished 3rd, but a money burner to the max. See, Attila, hi, Al. Appreciate the hard work handicapping. How's it going, Attila? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, early in the morning, first cup of coffee. I'm getting my first look at the Aqueduct card. I think I'm going to be doing Aqueduct. What I know for sure, probably will be, I'll schedule a show, make an announcement. But I'm getting ready, to see what's out there. I like to go through the card first. Glad you can. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for joining us. So I'm looking what's out there. Aqueduct has an excellent card today. An excellent card. I know I've been a little bit down on them lately since all of the other jockeys, most of the top jockey talent has jumped ship for Florida, but it looks like New York is trying to keep the show going, and they're putting on a really strong weekend of racing. Yesterday looked like they were playing a lot of bomb exactas again yesterday, but I guess that's racing, and when you're in on it, it feels great. When you lose that way, it's like, what the hell's going on at this place? But it's part of the game. I didn't personally see the Aqueduct races, but yeah, with everyone going to Florida, the Ortiz brothers and Rosario and Johnny V is there now, and Saez, and plus the jockey colony in Florida, they must be feeling the pinch because all these guys that were the big shots for a few weeks or whatever, like Paco Lopez and Zayas and some of the other jockeys, Jaramillo, Now the big boys come to town, and who knows what other big boys go over there. Is Flavian Pratt going there? Is some of the Florida jocks going over there? But New York NYRA hasn't given up. What they're doing this weekend, they have a couple of $500,000. They got stakes races, multiple stakes races today. No stakes races tomorrow. The card calms down a little bit, but they're giving us a big day today. And then after Sunday, there's not going to be any races until Sunday. There's not going to be any races until the 29th. So today's the 17th, 18th. So there's no racing in New York for 10 days after Sunday. They always take a week off right around Christmas. So then racing resumes on the 29th. So I'm not sure what tracks are running next weekend. But they're giving us a good card with really big fields the next 2 days. And the weather has finally calmed down. Hey, Karen, good morning. How's it going? Good to see you. Looking at the cards a little bit. I'm looking at Aqueduct. Yeah, I think I'm going to be at Aqueduct today. It looks like the best. It looks like the best card. They have gigantic stakes races. They have some big fields, and I know it's pouring in Florida. It's raining right now, and it's supposed to be raining throughout the day. But yeah, this weekend looks like they're gonna after this weekend, they're giving us their last good day of the year at Aqueduct with a lot of stakes races and really big ones, 500K. Even though some of the best jockeys, they're in Florida now, and so some of the small jockeys are going to be getting a chance to cash in on these stakes races. I was curious when I saw all the stakes races, like the $500,000 ones. I was wondering, is like Irod, Jose going to like fly back up north for this? But no, they're still going to be in Florida today, Gulfstream Park. I was just talking about that. I was just talking about that. That horse in the second race, the 2 is just like money burner supreme, losing every race by a neck, but always 9 races in a row, second or third, and close. Dylan Davis riding that one. And I was looking at the wet track angle. The 4 is getting a lot of weight, 114-pound weight break. Now again, this race is at a mile. $32K. And now the 3 is dropping in class. Now this one is actually the favorite. The name of the 3 is Tiger Town Boy. Has 2 races, 6.5 furlongs and 7. It's dropping from maiden to maiden special weight. Danny Gargan. It looks too slow. I think this looks like a very, very beatable favorite by the numbers. I would try and do something actually with the 9, an 8-1 shot. Rudy Rodriguez has 2 races, the last race and the race 2 back, that are fast enough to beat that dog, the number 2. Put a star next to that. 8-1. I don't think you're going to get 8-1 on that. Workout 44 seconds. Now, this is the very first time I'm looking at this card. So, of course, I'm going to go over it more, but I like to get some ideas first time through. And I look for some key factors. The one thing, though, that now this 9 showed the best early speed last race. On North Pole, the 2 showed some good early speed and a decent close. But the 9, I gotta think the 9's going to do something. And there's another one, 2 back with the 8, Danny Gargan has one that ran a big figure on turf. 2 back. It's dropping a little bit in class. You got Danny Gargan, 27% trainer, 90 days away. Has run on dirt. The last race, I don't like that it had to steady at the start. I don't know how much that took out of it. It did show some speed, early speed. The 9 really is showing early speed, but the 9 is running 6 furlongs. How much early speed is the 2? 2 can't run with the 9. 2 can't run with the 9. Now 9 cannot get the distance. I don't like this 3 I don't like the 3 that's 9-5 at all. I like the 2 better than the 3, the dog. All right, just about put enough time in this one for now. I think I could narrow this safely down to I think the 9, sure. The 9 has the highest prime power rating. What about a closer? This is a mile race. Just because this other one, it ran so well. 8, 2 back. Danny Gargan, 13%. It's getting spouted a lot of weight. 111 pounds, gets the blinkers. 90 days away. Gargan is 28%. First start with team, he's 30%. First time blinkers, 22%. The 8 is 8-1. So I'm on a preliminary here. 2, 9, and 8 in the first race. And we'll see. Hopefully the scratches are good to us there. And we move on a little bit. Take a breather there. Second race. Okay, let's see if we have some international racing that happens to be on. Okay, I'll use my phone for this. 3:39 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to have to reheat this in a second. Quick bet. Nyra. How about what do you think of Oaklawn? I was thinking I'm not doing Oaklawn. I don't plan on doing Oaklawn in the near future. So I know it's a nice track. I know they have some big purses. I just prefer other tracks. He didn't get the juices flowing. Okay, log in. All right. I remember this. Today's racing. We have anything coming up at all? 99 minutes, 18 minutes. KR Soul. Where is that? Kenilworth in 49 minutes. Now that's a quick way for me to lose some money. International racing. KR Soul. Do they have TV here that I can catch this? Yeah, I can catch it right here. KR Soul. Class 4 handicap. 18 minutes. Where is this place? Let me get the video rolling. All righty. Yeah. International racing. Let me heat this coffee. I'll be right back. Before I come back, let's take a look at the racing dudes. Are they actually out there? Do they have NYRA information today? Racing dudes, NYRA. Did they put up their new stuff, or do they still have yesterday's Aqueduct? December 17th, they actually do have it. And I have to really disagree with them right off the bat. They like that 3 that I didn't like at all. And what catches my eye is the 3 has the same trainer as the 8, Gargan. And now his 8 is faster than the 3. I know it's a turf horse. It ran its best on turf, but the one is 8-1, and this one's 8-5, and it has 2 slow numbers. And this one is dropping in class. One last peek at that one. Let me see if I can show you this. I'm sure I can. And you'll get a kick out of this. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to show you this Tiger Boy. We're going to look at some PPs here. It's a little bit different. I get a chance to do a little bit more of this than I get a chance to do on the show when I'm looking at live odds and I'm handicapping and coordinating what's going on the screen here. Here is like a behind the scenes look. See a Chrome tab. Okay, here we go. Let's bring this back. Now, let's talk about this a little bit. We're back to the first race. Now, Danny Gargan has this 3 horse. Let me bring him up completely. So we'll be right back. All righty. We got a coffee reheat right here. We're going to look a little bit at the third race. What's going on in racing news? We'll take a look at the racing news. They got some fun racing coming up. And I'll be right back. I'm going to reheat the coffee here. First cup of the day. We're taking a look at Aqueduct. At Aqueduct race 2, 6 furlongs, allowance 90K. Okay, 6 furlongs. Entries, we only got 7 entries. Okay, we'll be right back. Thanks for joining the show, whoever's here. Be right back. I should actually change the thumbnail for this, looking at Aqueduct. Just to make it a little bit more on par here. Let me just see something. Okay, well, let's look at the second race first a little bit. Now, I'll look at the second race a bit, then I'm going to take a look at the, I'll leave the thumbnail alone for now. Take a look at the second race a little bit. See, they're getting a little close to post time, race 10 at Seoul. Shut that off for now. Okay, and then we'll take a look at some horse racing news. I'll take a look at the second race first. This way, at least I got 2 that I've looked at. I'm pretty sure that Aqueduct, I'm not going to be using that 3. The 6 furlongs, allowance 90K. Got a little bit of speed in here, and they're some longer ones. And both can fly. competitive race, folks. I'll tell you that. And this race is the Quinella wagering. And there are 7 entries. And I expect one of these two, at least one of these two, to hang on. 1 and 7. Wow, 1 did a wire job, 2 back at Aqueduct. And this race is 6. Wired at 7. Last race at 6. What happened? Okay, they moved it up to the G3 level, met its match, and lost. Okay. It was actually leading for a while here at Aqueduct on November 26th. It got caught headed and then he faded. Bezos is the name. But the 2 races before that at Aqueduct at 7 and 6.5, this one wired the field. At Aqueduct, 2 for 4. Excellent early speed. Has had the lead at the second call 4 straight. The 2 for 4 at Aqueduct. I like that. What gets me is it seems to falter at the distance. It's 0 for 2 at the distance, but it comes out of G3 company. Okay, so we're not going to get hung up on that until we see who the others are in here. I'm going to look at the other early speed. Wow. The other early speed is probably going to be the controlling speed. It has a bunch of nice races, 2 for 3 at the distance. Name of this was Catch You Soon. It's coming. It ran last time at Aqueduct. This might have faced the other one, I think. I don't know. Did it? 76. Aqueduct, November 26th. Aqueduct, race 8. They both raced on that date at November 26th at Aqueduct, different races. Both of them had the lead and both of them faded. They lost the same way at 7, but at 6, this one's a monster. I gotta use 1-5 right here, right off the bat. One of these two, one is gonna fade and one is gonna win, I think, or finish no worse than second. We have a Linda Rice. Here's another one of these Linda Rice situations. We talked about this with Chris earlier. What is that? It has a nice card. Chris said something here. It is Al. I enjoyed your comments about Linda Rice. Plus, she screws us with the numerous scratches. And we talked about this when you were on here before. I mentioned that I heard on a show that Andy Serling was talking about. Andy Serling was talking about Linda Rice and, her scratching horses when she has multiple entries, and race 2 is one of those races. So she has the 6 and the 7, and now she's putting her main guy on the 7, who Lizcano rides on a regular basis. Now, Lizcano jumps off the 6, who's the favorite. Well, one of the favorites at 5-2. It's a tremendous record at Aqueduct. It's a 5-year-old. It looks like it did run a real big race after getting claim from Chad Brown. Ran big its last race with Lizcano till fading. Won 3-11. I'm talking Skilly K, number 6 here. Why are they taking Lizcano off this one? Lizcano's rode it 3 times that I can see so far. 18 career races. Ranked first in the power rankings. Meanwhile, Lizcano has won a couple of races, 2 out of the last 3 on the at Aqueduct. The last 2 here at this distance. I think the 7 is a danger here. 1, 5, and 7. Yeah, the 7 knows how to win. 3 for 4 at the distance. Yeah, I like the 7. Linda's putting Lizcano's on the longer odds horse that it has been running well at the distance. I know the 6 ran a really big figure last race, but the 3 before that, I don't know if this one's going to be able to do it again at short odds with Cancel, who's only 8%. So I'm on 157 here on my early look. And again, this is wide open race. This is a wide open race. If you're ever going to hit the all button, yeah, I can go up the list here. 5. You look at 5. 5 is another early speed horse signed on. And we talked about that one. And 5, after 5, number 4. 1 for 1 at the distance, 1 for 1 at Aqueduct. Robert Falcone, trainer, Manny Franco up. That one's a bit of a stretch. Does have some races that fit this. It's a turf horse. So I really don't think I'd mess around with that in this race. 3, Digital Future, another turf entry. The dirt races really. 2 races at Aqueduct, a first and a third. Looks a little light by the numbers. And 3 is beatable. So I'm going to definitely put that in there. 3, weak. I think it goes to 147. What about 2, Handsome Cat? Now that's one you want to possibly consider in there. It hasn't raced at Aqueduct, but it does have Delmar. It's run at Penn National. It's Castellano, David Jacobson. I'm going to put 2 with a question mark. Hey, it ran a 97 the distance 4 back, and at this distance, 4 out of 8 tries, 4 wins in 2 seconds. 97, last race won an 88, and with all the speed in here, it does have the ability to close very strongly. So maybe you can do something with a trifecta with these 4. I'll put a 2 and a C for the closer in my notes. All right. Let's see what's going on in the horse racing news. Take a break from this. 11 races on that card. We looked over 2 already. In between some schmoozing here for about an hour since I came on. Thanks everyone who's watched or joined the show here on this early Saturday morning. The week before Christmas. We still got time, folks. It's 8 days away. But yeah, Aqueduct. I'm looking at Aqueduct right now. No racing at Aqueduct after Sunday. No racing for 10 days there. They don't come back until the 29th. So that's it for them. And their big card here before Christmas is, I guess, their way of saying thank you. And the weather's supposed to be nice here. It's going to be clear here today. I think we got the rain out of the system. What? Let me see who the racing dudes picked there. Get this. The one that I said is the weak. The 3 is 3 to 1, and the 3 is very weak. They picked it to win. And I said that's the toss here of this race. Tiger Town boy. I can't believe it. And the one that I couldn't stand in the first race, 3, 9 to 5. I don't like that one either. And I don't know. I didn't look at the third race yet, For the third race, they like this one. Let her inspire you. Number 6. It's a Pletcher. Opens at 4 to 5. So that's the next one to look at on the agenda. Now that's a stakes race. So they kick off the third with a stakes race, and there's 6 entries. But let's take a look at some horse racing news before we go there. Horse racing news. All righty. Okay, we'll move this past Gmail. All right, let's get it going here. Leading first crop sires. I'll tell you, through December 1st, between December 15th, 2022, look at these sires. The 3 top first crop crown winner in third, over $22.3 million, $2,383,960, over $2.3 million in earnings as a sire. First time sire this year. You know who that happens to be? You might have heard of this horse, Justify. Team Justify, a Triple Crown winner. But the leading sire, so if you're looking at those sires with the 2-year-olds and you're not sure who to use, Justify. And the other ones to use that are red hot right now, actually the leader, Bolt d'Oro, remember that one? Bolt d'Oro, 2.563 million. And the second leading leading first-time sires is Good Magic. So Bolt d'Oro, Good Magic, and Team Justify. Okay, what else is going on in the news here? Now, apparently what's going on at Los Alamatillos? They have a big day there today? Why is this page opening? Oh, the palm-laden oval that we hope it does because we need it to survive. Okay. Racing news, the Woodward Cigar Mile among races downgraded. Okay, some races were downgraded from G1 races to G2 status, including 2 at NYRA, the Cigar Mile. Wow. And the Woodward. The Woodward was perhaps the most surprising inclusion of this dropping to a G2. I really didn't want this screen to open. Got a couple interesting tidbits on there. Why is opening here for me? Okay, let me go back to the original page here. It opened some newsletter on me. That's what that was all about. Okay, I see what's going on now. I don't want that. Leading sires 2022. Tonalist is the leading sire, followed by American Pharaoh. Wow. 2022, 11 million in earnings. American Pharaoh. Constitution, Tapiture, Liam's Map. The leader is actually Tonalist, leading sire, over 16 million. Industry leaders, top trainers. Listen to this. I'll give you some training. Top industry leader, owner, Godolphin, over 15 million. Closest is Clarovich Stables, 9 million and change. So Godolphin, the dangerous Godolphin. Leading trainer, 2022, a slim lead, Chad Brown over Todd Pletcher, 30,800,000 to so 30,050,000. So Todd Pletcher's lead is trailing Chad Brown by about 770,000, and close behind those two is Steve Asmussen, 28 million and change. Then Brad Cox, 22 million and change. William Mott, 16 million and change. Michael Maker, 15 million and change. And Mark Cassie, 15 million. So 1-2, Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher. And those two guys, they have races in Florida and here today. And top horses of 2022 earnings is Flightline, number one, no surprise there. Followed by Life is Good. Flightline, 4.2 million. Life is Good, 2.8 and change. Olympiad, 2.8 and change. Epicenter, 2.8 and change. Rich Strike, what was that? The 90-1 shot in the Kentucky Derby. Ridiculous. 2.47 million. Rebels Romance, 2 million and change. Malathat, 2 million and change. Leading jockeys 2022. Here's the interesting one. Irad Ortiz leads the way, number one, 36 million. Flavian Pratt, number two, 29 million. And I'll tell you, I think Flavian Pratt is better than Irad Ortiz. Or if he's not now, it's damn close. I don't see Irad having anything on him. And I think in time we're going to see some separation when Flavian Pratt does more riding. This guy, he wins wherever he goes. In big spots. So let's see. He's not going to catch Irad this year. But who's third? Joel Rosario, almost just a few 100,000 behind Pratt, is third. Tyler Gaffleone, another tremendous up-and-comer here, 26 million and change. He's about 2.4 million behind Rosario. Next up, Luis Saez at number 5. 23 million something. Jose Ortiz, sixth, 21,900. So he's about 2 million behind Saez. And Florent Garreau, 15 million next. So Irad probably going to win top jockey of 2022, followed by Flavian Pratt. All right, and we actually have our first pick of the day. Karen, race 6. I didn't get up there yet. Karen, I'm actually looking at this card for the first time. That's what I do before I do shows. But here I'm actually doing it on, I'm up. I'm like, let's open up the chat just in case anybody's up. I got racing on TV. I don't know what the heck they're showing. Some international racing, or I don't know. Anyway. So I'm looking through the first. I've been through the first two. So Karen, race 6. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at these, compare notes when I get to these. Pick 6. I love it. What does a pick 6? I haven't played the pick 6 at Aqueduct in a while. For a while there, did they put it back down to 20 cents, or is it still like $1 minimum? Those are some tough races, Karen. Okay, so Karen has some pick six, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good luck there. Wow, we're going to go back to that when they come up. Thanks for sharing that here. You know, we're probably going to be doing the show there later, so I'm just prepping right now. And of course, these picks that I'm coming up with, these preliminary contenders, with scratches or with the board or with what goes on, what I see at the track, this is just to get the ball rolling. And but otherwise, there could very well be adjustments to these. This is a starting point, what I'm working on now. Okay, thanks for sharing those, Karen. Okay, I'm just about done here with this coffee. I'm going to make some new coffee. I'm going to be back. We're going to start looking at race 3. Where are we? Yeah, race three has a 4 to 5 shot. I'm going to leave this on the screen so you can look at that. Let me bring this up here. All right. Handicapping after dark, before sunrise, I guess, which should be. Well, sunrise is still a couple hours away. Let me bring this up, make it a little bit bigger here so you know what we're looking at. I'm going to be away for a little bit. Now, this is Aqueduct race 3. You can see this is a stakes race. Let's see if I can make this a little larger. All righty, I'm going to be away for a little bit, but I will be resuming and making some coffee. And going to start looking at the third race, get back to a little news if anybody has any chat. Karen, thanks for sharing a pick 6, early pick 6 play for Aqueduct. I'm up to race 3. I'm going through the card for the first time. So be back in a bit. And anyone who's here, thanks for joining us. Back in a bit. All right. All right, we're back. We're back, and heat up the coffee. And thanks for everyone. The Aqueduct carryover 24,322. I guess it wasn't that much in the pool. Well, okay, I got to just see the Aqueduct entries. We're going to start here. I'm going to get back at it. Now, this is my single in the pick 5 sequence. Already it looks a little tricky. I really like the 9 in the first, and the 2 has all the superior speed figures, but has been 0 for 15 and burning money. Just can't seem to get it done. Finishes second or third, I think, in the last 8, a few times by a neck when leading. Now this race, okay, yeah, the Bay Ridge 100K race. We got a Pletcher entry that's 4 to 5. So let's start taking a look at that a little closely, and I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So you can get a picture as we go down the horse. So we got the first one. Let me go to the actual screen and go along with it. They have a power ranking. Now that's a power ranking number if you're not familiar with Brisnet. And that's computer generated. It doesn't take into account. Now it's a stakes, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Folded, so it's New York bred, okay? LASIK's not permitted within 48 hours of post time. Interesting. Now this is ranked the second ranked one. It hasn't won at Aqueduct. Does have a 91 on turf. It's a turf one going to dirt. This one has never run on dirt before. And this guy, Mont William, turf to dirt, 16%. Non-graded stakes, 22%. Yeah, solid trainer, 16% at Aqueduct. Manny Franco, 17. Fight on Lucy. This one opens 30 to 1. Has only 3 wins and 38 tries on the board, 10 of 19 at Aqueduct, but did fire 91. Wow, back in the day, 6 years old. Sahir Muscat man. Luis Rodriguez, jockey, 11% jock. Low percentage trainer, 0 for 16. You know it all, Audrey. This one looks like the speed. One of the speeds, number 3, runs 4 of 8 at Aqueduct, 2 seconds, and 2 wins and 6 tries at the distance. For the speed figures look a little light. It does have back-to-back wire jobs at Aqueduct, opens 9 to 2, including at the distance. Jose Ortiz was the regular rider. Now in Florida, Diaz was up last time. It went off as the chalk the last 2 and won both times. Had allowance company. 4, interesting. The speed, 5 to 1. We got to see what the Pletcher entry brings to the table. Here's another speed. This is the one that's going to give that one problems. It's running faster fractions, early fractions. 2 for 3 at Aqueduct, 95 Brisnet figure is high. And that was January of earlier in the year. Then it had a 93 at Belmont, both at the distance. Now this one runs to 95, and it takes a couple of races to kind of recoup. Got back up to 86. Won that before getting up to 95 and running in a 200K race. Then it had a few races. Might be due for another one of those 90s. Mark Hennig, the trainer, 10 to 1. Now this Pletcher horse, which we haven't gotten to yet, filly or mare. This one, Dylan Davis, ranked 3rd. Another one, nice numbers at Aqueduct, 97 high. At 1 mile and an 1/8. Now this one's more of a big closing kick, finishing 2nd in a G3. Came in G1 company, was completely overmatched. G2 company, Nice figure, but finished fourth. 7-2, Dylan Davis, Jorge Abreu, 23% trainer at the meet, and Dylan Davis, 16%. Now, here's the one that's the favorite, 4-5, Pletcher. Undefeated in 2 tries at Aqueduct. The distance, 1 for 1 at the distance. Didn't fire its best. That's been winning. It won a minor stakes race, which is what this is. 4-5 might be pushing it on this. 4 wins and 8 tries, 2 seconds and a third. 350K earner, 3-year-old, out of practical joke. I mean, can this one be beat? This one will have to close. Now it's run its at the distance, it's 1 for 1, but really didn't excel. That's 2 back at the optional claim. Maybe that was a prep race. No, 4-5. That might be pushing it here. 4-5. Do you single Pletcher in a race like this? We got 2 speeds in here, the 3 and the 4. They open 9-2 and 10-1. Take a note on this one. I just want to see something. See if there's an interesting angle on this. I know the track is likely probably going to still have moisture in it. I mean, the 5 has the back class and might benefit from the pace. Does have a couple of big races at Aqueduct. Jose Ortiz. It's had both the Ortiz brothers riding it usually. You're just looking at the 5. Todd Pletcher, you know that one's going to take money. It doesn't have to win, but it has won 4 out of the last 5. Hasn't raced in 48 days, Pletcher. Well, I got to write it down. You got to consider that one. Non-graded stakes, Pletcher's 23%. Gets Jose Lescano up, who won on this one 2 races back. But again, that race 2 races back really didn't run one of its best numbers. And its best number was on a wet track that had a longer distance where it wired the field. And I don't think it's going to wire today. No lock. I'll list 4 and with a question mark. I want to see the board on that and see what it looks like in multis. What I'm looking for is one that really has a big shot to beat it. I think the 1 is a little light to get the job done. 2 a closer, 30-1. I think that one's light, too light too, in 30-1 odds. 3 has early speed. That one is going to be beat. You know, maybe 4, 5 has the best shot, really, realistically, of upending it, if anyone will. 2 for 2 at the distance with some big numbers. And the 2 brings its A game. The 5 brings its A game. It can beat it. So I'll leave it at 4 and 5 for now. I'm not going to go any deeper than that at this time. 3, 4 probably knock heads. The 3 has, yeah, the numbers are a little light. Yeah, 3 hasn't run as fast as the other 2. 4 has. I'll put a question mark with the 4. I like the race at Belmont in back races. We'll leave it at 4, 5. Not 4, 5. We'll leave it at 5. I'm sorry, 5. 6 is the Pletcher horse. And 5 is the 7-2. So really landing on the 2 chalks there in race 3. All righty. What about 4? Race 4. Let's go back to some racing news for a second here. So this is the first time I'm going through the card. So yeah, I've covered 3 of the 8. Early Saturday morning, getting ready for the races. No, I haven't been up all night. I did get a good night's sleep. Did Oaklawn yesterday, so I'm thinking about Aqueduct today. It looks like the best card. Okay, I did a show yesterday, a live pre-recorded show about Bob Baffert. He renews his court fight. Bob is looking to get his suspension lifted so he can participate in the Kentucky Derby this year. So otherwise, he wouldn't be eligible to return to Kentucky Derby until 2024. So he's looking to get that changed. They got the prep races coming up. A lot of the trainers with the top talent, they're not going to go to Bob with their 2-year-olds if he's unable to participate in the Derby. So he's fighting this in court. So he filed that on Thursday. Okay. Now they have some graded stakes listed here, scheduled list and stakes in North America. Los Alamitos has the Futurity G2 today scheduled. I don't know why they don't show Aqueduct's graded stakes. I'm going to talk just a little bit about this Aqueduct card today and tell you why I'm looking this over. Now, we just mentioned the 3rd race. That's a graded stakes. Now, that was the Bay Ridge Stakes. That's for 100 grand, right? That was the 3rd race. Now, the seventh race is the New York Stallion Series for 2-year-olds. It's a graded stakes, and the purse is $500,000. Race 7, $500,000 stake, and they have 11 entries in there. You got Linda Rice in there on a 15-1. Linda Rice, another one race with 2 entries, a 15-1 and a 10-1. Bustin' Hot and Fema Funds. Cox has an entry, Midtown Lights, number 4, 7-2. Looks like a fairly wide open race. 7-2 is the chalk. Actually, 8-5. Michael Maker, the one on the rail. Les Bon Temps, 8-5. So you might get some prices in there, and we didn't get to the. I'm not to that race yet. You know, I've looked at 3 of them. Then after the $500,000 stakes in the 7th, we have another graded stakes in the 8th, $100,000. The Alex M. Robb stakes. 1-year-old for 3-year-olds and up. We got 8 entries there. We have 2 Michael Maker entries. We have an Atras entry. We have a Pletcher entry with Castellano that opens 5-1. Safi Joseph Jr. has a 7-2. And in town to ride there is Gulfstream Park's Zayas is up on number 8 for Safi Joseph Jr. And race 9 is Stallions, New York Stallion Series for 2-year-olds, 500,000 restricted. Race, so another $500,000 stakes. Linda Rice is in there again, 6-1. Number 8, Lifetime of Chance. Pletcher is in there with an 8-1. Laurel Valley. Vargas riding for Pletcher, number 10, 8-1. You're getting, and Zayas is in that race for Mott, William Mott. On Zepruder, 10-1-5. Who's the big chalk? Orlando Noda, number 1, Jackson Heights, 7-2. And number 3, the opening favorite by a slim margin is 11, 3-1 Vacation Dance. Then the 10th race, they close with a maiden claim 25K. All right. So if you like this show, hit the like button. Enjoy the show, hit the like button. And share the channel with others. Okay. Excellent, excellent. Getting a head start here. 4:50 a.m. Saturday morning. And we move on. Go to, how about the racing dudes? Who do these guys like for some of these races, the 3rd race? I got to say they're going to go with Pletcher. Yeah, I'll inspire you. These guys are eating chalk like crazy here. Number 3, 6, Pletcher, 4-5. Race 5, they like the 6, but let's see who we like here. The race 4. Race 4, 6.5 furlongs, allowance 50K. Okay. Six and a half furlongs, bit of an odd distance. 8 entries. Tough race, tough race. I'll tell you what, this opening pick 5 is brutal. You know, maybe you want to look at the pick 4. The 1 is the monkey. The 2 in the first race is the monkey wrench. It's the maiden that refuses to win, burning money all over the place, losing races by a neck, multiple races, 2nd or 3rd, 8 races in a row. Best speed figures, but always finds a way to lose. Comes into the stretch leading and loses brutally close. Very wide open. Now, I kind of like one of them that has shown a bit of a closing kick that's a bit of a price. One to consider for your 6.5 furlong. I'm looking at number 6, Laffer. It did close well, showed a good closing kick last race. But the strange part about it is it wired the field to break its maiden. So it's 1 for 2 at Aqueduct. Never raced at the distance. I gather that the numbers are light for this. Not especially light. You know, maybe it discovered something last race. 2 seems to be the horse for the course for fillies and mares. The filly for the course. 8 tries at Aqueduct. On the board, 7 of 8 with 3 wins, a second and 3/3. 1 for 2 at the distance. Carlos Martin, 13% trainer. Eric Cancel, 8% jock. Cancel rides this one all the time. I guess he has part ownership in this True Empress, whatever. It's a 3-year-old. I see he's I see it seems to have ridden it every single time. And rides him again. What dedication. 3 wins, 11. It registered a solid number last time. Its career best. And it seems to be a first by 2 3/4 and third by a neck. Now, close, didn't blow a lead. He got up close, 4 wide, headed late, denied. Looks like a brutal loss there. But since this one has been claimed and has joined the Carlos Martin barn, it's running better. So I have to use this one. I did have a first of 85 workout in November of 47 seconds for 4 furlongs. And it shows another bullet along the way there. First of 56 a while back. So this one could giddy up when it has to. And the jockey's familiar with it, knows this, has actually won 2 out of 3. So I know it opens 2 to 7 to 2. Not really a bomb, but 7 of 8 in the money, 3 wins at Aqueduct, 1 for 2 at the distance. So 2 is one to consider there. True Empress. Three seems a little. You have to go back. At Aqueduct, this won 3 times out of 21, 3 for 38. That kind of bugs me. Decent earner, a 5-year-old, Mia B. Star, 252K plus in career earnings. That's a nice amount for a racehorse. Yeah, I'm going to stay away. I'm going to stay off of that. I think it likes it a little longer. It's a good closer. At the distance, though, it does have a nice race at the distance. Randy Passad, 13% during the meet here, the trainer, and Ramiro Marat. He's riding this. Castellano not on this one. Another one I'm going to try and look elsewhere. I think the 4, Charlie Rude, Michael McCarthy, 17% trainer. No races at Aqueduct yet. And 17% in 341 tries, and gets Manny Franco up 17% here at Aqueduct, 16% overall. He had run on turf. He has a dirt race, last race, that at 6 furlongs, Churchill Downs, which would take this Number 489 Bisnet figure, maiden claim. Okay, it does move up in class here. And showed some fast fractions. I don't know if anyone else can run fractions with this one. Now this one, since it's left the barn of Christophe Clement, or it exploded with its best effort, and now they're moving it back up. It had run its previous 3 races at the maiden level, and then broke its maiden last race at the 50K mark, and okay, don't show it as being claimed either. So they slipped through the cracks there at 50 and broke the maiden easy, going away 3 lengths. Was second at the first call, took the lead at the second call by 1, into the stretch by 2, and won by 3. Nice fractions. So after joining Michael McCarthy, did well, and Michael McCarthy is 19% in sprints. So you have 4 definitely got to be used. And it's not that big of a field. The 5, I can't vouch for the 5 here. It does a lot of turf running. Its last race on dirt was okay. It showed a little early speed. Gets Jackie Davis up, 5% at Aqueduct, 12% overall. She wins some races at the smaller circuits. James Ferraro. She has never ridden this one before. Devilly. Ferraro, a 9% trainer. Jackie Davis, 1 win and 21 tries at Aqueduct. So she's getting some mounts here now that the jockey colony has shifted to Florida. It would probably need a repeat of its legs to have any shot. The funny thing is, 2 out of the last 3 races do fit this, because when it only has 15 career starts, does have a win at Aqueduct 2 back. And what happened in the race 2 back? Okay, it got a bad start, it bobbled, it bumped. So really 2 out of the last 3 races do fit this race. So I'm going to list the 5 on the side to consider the inspired Jackie Davis. I put in underlines under that and just making some notes. It is some races that can win this on turf. It's not impossible. I mean, it'll take a best effort, but I think it's one to consider for exactas. The Traveler, how's it going? Good morning. Up early here. I haven't been up all night. I'm taking a first look at the Aqueduct. Good to see you, Traveler. I'm taking a first look at the Aqueduct card. You remember I did Oak Lawn yesterday, and I'm not going back there today. Aqueduct has a big card, so I'm having some coffee, got a good night's sleep, and this is the first time I'm seeing these races for a first time through. They got a couple of big stakes races, 500K stakes races. They got a couple of more for 4 stakes in all. And so 4, including 2 500K races. So they have big fields. And after tomorrow, Aqueduct is not going to run again for 10 days. And so tomorrow they don't have any stakes. So today's their big day before Christmas. And that's going to do it for a while at Aqueduct. They're going to be off for over a week following tomorrow's day. And then they'll be back on April 29th. And I know it's raining in Florida. And Oak Lawn was kind of interesting. I know they have some big races there coming up. But I'm more comfortable going here today than Oak Lawn again. I wasn't crazy with some of the results. And didn't seem, I missed the big name jockeys. I missed the big name trainers that both Aqueduct right now and Gulfstream have. Of course, the better jocks right now are at Gulfstream, but they have bad weather, so I wouldn't be surprised if all the races get washed off the turf. And the weather, the rain has finally stopped. It's supposed to be a sunny day here. So unless there's a total change of heart, I'll likely do an Aqueduct show today. So I'm taking a look at that card. Good to see you this morning, Traveler. So I've covered the first four so far, and it looks like a barn burner of a pick five. And if you played Aqueduct yesterday, you saw that they had some outrageous bombs coming in. Let me see, what are they showing? Let me get a racing show on here. I don't know what the hell they're showing here. They're showing Aqueduct, a replay show. Get some international racing or something. Last I checked, they were showing international basketball on the channel. What, the out of the minds? Okay. Yeah, some sort of basketball. Yeah, right. At least we got some kind of horse racing on. Hey, where were we? Six, Carmouche. It's another one that looks kind of light. Seven, Alpine Queen. Not impressed. Fourth is a tough race. Castellano riding for Thomas Morley. Thomas Morley is Maggie's husband, Maggie Wolfendale. Many of you remember her as. Never raced at Aqueduct. Last two races really ran well. 84 and 81. Its career race was 87. Last two races were strong, but now they're getting Thomas Morley 13% for the year, but 7% at Aqueduct. Castellano 18%. Now, first after the claim, though, now Morley claimed this one, and now running an allowance race. Claim for, it can't be 5,000, is it? 50,000. Okay, it's more like it. They saw something in this one. Opens 92. Nice early fractions. It's a good jock. It's a wide open race. Out of 8 entries, you could make a case for 4 of them. Is that a Quinella race? Find the one on top and put 3 others underneath and complete the try? Very, very tough race. Let's go on to race 5 here. See what it gives us. Race 5, Aqueduct. First time through the card. Wait a second. Six furlongs, allowance 90. Okay, 6 furlongs for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 18,000 other than maiden claiming. Okay, how many entries? That's the question. 8 entries. Now we have big chalk here that does look like it might be a single. And that's number 6, Sheriff Bianco. Opens at 7-5. And you got Linda Rice in here. She seems to be having races here with multiple entries, or at least a couple of them so far. Now, Sheriff Bianco comes in now. That is a 4-year-old and exploded. It has been running mostly on turf as sealed track. Now comes to Aqueduct. Moves to dirt moves to dirt. And it's 2 for 2 at Aqueduct the last 2 races and exploded with 104 Brisnet figure with Lescano up. Now, it had been winning races on turf as well, has 4 wins out of 13 tries, 2 for 2 here, in the money 10 out of 13 times. But that 104 speed figure last race at today's distance, now that was a month ago to the day, so he's well rested, has worked out on the 5th. They gave it some time off. Here's the thing that concerns me about that. I love the number. It concerns me that this horse moves so far forward that maybe it'll drop back, but it could afford to drop back 10 points and still would likely win this race. Let me just compare it to some of the others. Here's the thing. Now, the 1, Prisoner, has early speed in the rail. Dylan Davis, Charlton Baker, trainer, 16% at Aqueduct, 17% 2022. This one ran a 95 and a 97 at Aqueduct in wiring the field in February and March. But something happened after that. Missed almost 2 months or 3 months after that impressive 95 wire job. 2 impressive wire jobs, actually 3. Started its career winning by open lengths, 4 3/4, wiring the field each time, 8 and 5. Something went wrong after that, running figures of 86, 97, and 95. Number 1, Prisoner, opens 12-1. Now, after that, it didn't show the same speed. It went to Belmont and ran a 7th place finish with a 66 Brisnet. That's a drop of about 30 points. And then went up to Saratoga. And now when it ran that 66 Brisnet, it opened as the chalk at 1.95-1. And just laid an egg. 66, 7th place finish, showed no speed. At the first call, was 5 lengths back. In 5th place, 4.5 lengths back. And it's not like it had a bad start. It just was didn't have the same speed. Now, it followed that up. That was on June 10th. Now, it followed that up at Saratoga. Now, people were nervous. Suddenly, it was 14-1. And it showed a little bit of its early speed, actually a lot, but it got challenged by others. Ran an 88 before, was at the first call, second at the second call by 1.5. Entering the stretch was 2 back in 4th and finished in 4th, 7.5 back. Now, and that race was 14-1. And then its last race in September showed a little bit of early speed. In second by a head at the second call. Was in second at the first call by a half. Made up a little bit of ground, then faded, finished 5th, 10th back. So something is amiss with this one. Has never recaptured that form. Last time we seen it was March 18th of this year. Do you trust that it can come back? I mean, Dylan Davis is the one that rode it to its last impressive victory in March, but then Dylan rode it to a horrible race the race after, and then Dylan with another horrible race, the race previous, the 2 back, and then Sias tried it, and it ran a 66 again at Aqueduct in September. I'm a little worried about that Number one, the workouts, 5th of 11, December 8th, November 28th. Not working really quick. It's not working well at all. This is a horse that used to fire bullets. Bullets. And it's an achy horse. I mean, it won its first race in June of 2020. Then it came back, won its second race in February of 22. Now it's missing. Let me just put a question mark next to it. Number one question mark with a circle. As you know, I put a downward arrow. It's going in the wrong direction. Race 5:13 in the morning out here. Okay. Now there's other speed in here. The 4, for example, at least this one's in good form. Never raced here. Michael Jones, the trainer, 11%. Abner Adorno, the jock, 15% at Aqueduct, 13%. This one's the Parks Invader. Shipper, 8%. Has this Adorno guy up 4 in a row, and he's won. He has a couple of big races. Definitely worth the look. More so, I think this one is going to give one. I mean, if one's been folding lately, he'll definitely be folding when facing this one. So I'm going to list this one that has won 4 of 13 lifetime, 2 of 4 at the distance, and a second. Has speed figures of 90 and 98. Comes in off a workout of 4th of 14, December 5th workout, 1st of 9 bullet. A little concerned about the trainer. Michael Jones Jr. has been at Aqueduct in the meet 3 times out of 4 tries, but 2 seconds and a third. That's good, 75% of the money. So he ships 8%, keeps the same jock. What happened? That he didn't have the same speed last race. That bugs me. First off the claim, 8%. I'm going to hold off on it. The four. I'm going to hold off on the 4. I don't like the Parks angle. I don't like that he was in for the claim suddenly. And although he did run a pretty good last race, didn't have the early speed as usual. Bit of a concern. So far, you got to use the 6 here, that Sheriff Bianco, the Rice entry. The question is there another one you want to use with it? The one I would use with it is one I definitely would use is number 7, 12th Man, coming in off a 94, second place finish. Hasn't been winning. A 97 at the distance at Aqueduct. On the board, 5 of 9. Michelle Nevin. She knows how to spot him. And allowance races, she's 19%. You get Castellano here. Has competitive numbers, multiple races in the 90s at this distance. Yeah, this one's a definite contender, number 7. Do we have anyone? Can we just limit this to 6, 7 to get the 5th home? Thing, the X factor here, King Angelo, number 3. That's the other one with some speed. Turf horse. Did run a big race on a wet track. Gets Franco, Abreu, the trainer. He's 23% at the meet. Third off the layoff, 10%. Beaten favorite, 23%. Now, this one is due to explode forward, I think. Has multiple races that it usually runs a very big race, then regresses for a race or two. And it ran about 3 back in July. Now it's doing that on turf, mind you. But I expect moisture on the track. So I'm going to list 3 in here. Plus, he can run with a closing kick, and he can go fast early as well. He doesn't need the lead, but he'll go there sometimes. And winner of 3 of 12, 25% winner, in the money, 9 out of 12. One race at Aqueduct, a second. But again, the race on a good track at Belmont, when there was moisture in the track, really exploded, came in second, but ran a 95. I'll list 3, but here's the deal with this. I'm going to hang my hat, I think, on the 7 to 5 shot, the 6. I'm going to double underline the Rice. And then come as we get closer to race 5, we're going to take a look at what's going on there with the one that used to be really good, and the 3 and the 7, and decide if we're going to do anything else. We're not going to go crazy with this trying to beat that. I'm not going to spend a lot of money to try and beat this 6 if it's going to go out there and thump these. So, and the 1, if I was going to go right now, the way I'd go, I'd use 6, 7, and then work off of those 2, because at least 7 has multiple races. And then keep an eye on the 3. And go no more than 2 or 3. All righty. What do we got in the 6th race here? See who these guys like. Racing dudes, add to these streams. Who do they like there? And they're on the chalk. No surprise, right? They're on the 6th in that 5th race. The Rice entry, 7 to 5. These guys are just picking chalk, folks. It looks like they open it up a little bit. And this card today, we have a good card there. They have 11 races. Open it up, race 6, to see what we got. Maiden race for maidens 2-year-olds. 1 mile. How many entries we got here? Okay, decent field, 10 entries. Who's the speed? Let's see. Oh God. We do have a firster, number 7, abstract. Todd Pletcher firster that opens 10 to 1. First time starters, Pletcher is 19%. Debut maiden special weight, 18%. Now 7 is from very dangerous stable, the Rapoli stable, Mike Rapoli. Always a presence. Local hero. 970K, get this, 970K cult out of Curlin and Smart Strike. Oh, brother. 7 at 10 to 1. Okay, I'm going to start off by just putting the 7 with a question mark, 7 with a firster. You got the Pletcher Rapoli connection going there. Let's see if firster Pletcher. So we'll just see, keep an eye on the board for that one. You can see it. Competitive race. I think the 1 is too slow. No. 2 comes off a nice race. Christophe Clement, maiden special weight trainer, 22%, 19% overall, gets Franco. Franco rode this one before. Closed has ran at the distance here at the track on November 6th and nearly got there, finishing second by 1 1/4 with a really nice closing kick. 86 Brisnet. Now, the 2 actually faced the 6. The 3 faced the 2 and finished third. Now, why is this one suddenly the favorite when the 2 beat the 3 and the 3 is opening 2-1? I'll tell you why he's the favorite. Of course, they have Pletcher as the trainer and Carmouche as the jockey. 2 upgrades over the 2. Now, this one made up more ground. Was actually catching up to the 2 at the end. Wasn't as quick early. How are the workouts for these 2? I mean, do you just go 2, 3 because it's Pletcher? Well, another reason is it's how to tap it. It has Durkot on the dam side, and number 3 is a $1.3 million purchase, right? So they probably expected this one to get it done. The 2, even though we finished ahead of the 3 last race, the 2 opened at 16-1, right? And the 3 opened at 2-1, and the 2-1 finished a length behind the 2. So you got the lineage in there. 2, 3, I don't like the whole deal here with this. Maybe you just use both in multi-race plays. Let me go. Let's see. Let me see. 2, 3. Now I'm going to go back, and Karan had a pick 6 play in the comments. You may want to scroll back. I'm curious. This is the race that starts the pick 3, and I would imagine from what I've seen of these so far, Dylan Davis rides number 6 for Brad Cox, who's 50% in this meet. 3 winners out of 6 with a second career race, 28%. Keeps Dylan Davis up. And another one got off a step slow and ran wide, but actually, so you could add a few points to this speed figure. Slip Mahoney, number 6, 7-2. I think I'm going to lay off that Pletcher first, or I'll look at it. But for what I'm seeing here, 2, 3, 6, it's very chalky. 8 and 9. And these 3 you could really separate. 10, too slow. I'm just looking at number 3. 5 has some early speed. 15% trainer, Patrick Reynolds. Cancel up. 2 races there. No, I can't go there. I'm on 2, 3, 6 here. Question mark 7. Competitive races. Let's see. Karen had in the pick 6, race 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm on 2, 3, 6, 4, 5. We look at the 4-5 who Karen has there. Jose Gomez, good. Now the 4 has early speed. That's the one thing about the 4 to keep in mind. The 5, I don't like the 5. 4 has a big early speed edge. And now I'm going to put a question mark next to that because I'm just seeing the fractions here. Inside foe, no match. Has a second and lone start. I just want to see if any others can match this one's early stride. 6 might be able to match it. But under today's conditions, I don't think it can. So I'm going to list 4 speed. So we got to watch the board here. The 6th race might be a tricky race. Okay, we're 6 out of the 11 we've taken a look at here. Alrighty. We're going to heat up some coffee for a minute, and we'll be right back. Alrighty. What do these guys like? The racing dudes that race? Sheriff, Tappet Trice on the chalk again. Bring out 7. What do we got in race 7? Now, race 7 is a big race. All righty. Let's take a look at race 7 before I step away. All right. Be right back. All right. 7, this is one of 500K races. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 6, already covered 6, right? And it's 5:30 in the morning. So this is, you're seeing actually my first time through a card from scratch. And you see, I've talked about some other stuff. And so I've actually looked at this, been on the air now 2.5 hours. So you see, I put at least, just over halfway through the card. So you see, I've already put minus the talk time, probably an hour, somewhere between an hour and a half and hour 45 minutes, maybe a little more into the initial stage here, So you see, I'm not here. When I'm making the races, when I'm making the selections, I'm not sitting here picking horses, sitting here, throwing at a dartboard or picking numbers out of a hat or, playing the cat horses or the gray horses. So, yeah, work goes into the process. So that, the horse racing, it's not an easy game. It does take some work, but it can be very rewarding. It's a lot of fun and it's challenging. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit and we'll take a look at race 7. That's a $500,000 stakes. All horse racing all the time. I'm your host, Al. First look at the Aqueduct card this morning. Good morning, wherever you are. Thanks for joining the show. First look at the Aqueduct card. We're going through it for kind of like an initial draft. Okay. I started at 3 o'clock in the morning, got sleep, coffee. We'll get to more of this stuff, but first coffee. Excellent. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, we have Mary Lou's, the best coffee in town. Mary Lou's best coffee in town on sale at Stop and Shop for $6.99. Usually goes $9.99. And it's a really good coffee. We're up to a stakes race, and I really should add a more descriptive thumbnail because I'm covering this here in real time. And we're going through the card a little at a time. And so far, so good here. We're through 6 of the first 11 races. And there we go. And race 7, we're out here. We really should add a new thumbnail, different thumbnail. And the reason being, okay, let's see, this was race 4. Okay, a more descriptive thumbnail for this particular show. Because we're covering Aqueduct, we want it to be in its correct, most descriptive form for you racing fans out there. Okay, Aqueduct, because it really has turned out to be a handicapping show with some selections. And the first thing I'm noting now is that the races, these races are more competitive. This is a very competitive card, and even the ones that have even the races that have a strong morning line favorite, 7-5, 4-5, even those entries are somewhat vulnerable here. So it's a competitive card. I think you're going to get paid, and I think we're going to see some surprises today. If yesterday is any indication. Okay, where are we here? Edit product. Okay, I'm going to add another added description to this. First look at Saturday's big card. Now let's get the big A up here. Okay, let's add some text over here. All righty, 5:41 a.m. in the morning. Okay. All righty. Beautiful. And there we go. Okay, let's adjust this. Yeah, that's the ticket. All righty, let's see. Download, just about there, folks. All righty, let's do this. Yeah. All right, all right. Add here. Add this. And I'm actually going to email this, put this on notification. Live. We're even going to update the title to make it more descriptive. Love it. All right, yeah, that's it. Okay. Changes saved. One more change here. All righty. Oh, look, the changes already took effect. Okay, just about there. Got to get out my notification. Finish that. Right, thanks for joining the show, everybody. Taking a first look, taking you behind the scenes here. This is some of the stuff that usually goes on before the show. Let's see. And we hit send. All right. And we got a winner. All right. Race 7. Race 7, the big races start. Okay. Again, the first time through this car, going through this car the first time. Looks like we're going to be doing an Aqueduct show today. So let's take a look at this 7th race, the stakes race. We'll get it off the screen here. Race 7. Let's see, 7 furlongs. 7 furlongs. New York Stallion for fillies, 2-year-olds eligible. Okay. 7 furlongs. $500,000. I'll tell you, even the first leg of the pick 6 looks difficult. Multiple horses. I don't see any true singles in this card at this point. And here we have 11 entries. Is there a standout? $500K. The 7, for example, I don't see how they could possibly enter this for $500K. I know it won 2 of 3. It has been stakes tested, but I mean, the numbers are so slow. How do they figure these? Well, I guess they figure they're 2-year-olds. Edgar Zayas is on the 3, who has a really nice first race, maiden claiming level, won by 6 lengths at 6 furlongs at Gulfstream. So they bring the shipper here. The trainer is Joseph Safi Joseph Jr. 21% trainer in 2022, 0 for the 3 at Aqueduct at this meet. Maiden to non-graded stakes. Now they say this is non-graded, but it's still 500,000, 16%. I mean, the race is really strong. I'm fairly confident we could single here. Michael Maker, number 1, big close, could run fast early, or it can run. It comes off a 90 speed figure, 83, 90. One with Saez, gets Liscano. Workout 10th of 38, 23 of 123, 56 of 135. Opens 8 to 5. It definitely must be used. draws the rail. So number one, we might have it. This one might be able to be singled, but hold the phone because number three with Zayas, that one makes its second start, really has every right to improve. Comes off an 82, where at the first call it was in third, one back. By the second call, it had taken the lead by a half, and into the stretch was up by 2, and then won by 6, going away with a nice closing kick, and probably will appreciate the extra distance extending to 7. And that was at 6 furlongs. And now the one who comes off the 90, that was at a mile, right? And at 7 furlongs, it did run an 83. And the one has been stakes tested already as well. So it's a fair favorite, but really not much of a difference. A 3 might actually was caught wide. So was the caught wide. So it probably even went faster than at 82 if you consider the extra lengths in winning. So far, 1 and 3 look like the standouts in the 7th. And I'm going to see if this one is any worth going further in this particular case. Okay, the 4 ran a nice race on a wet track, and today probably will be wet, and it very quick early. Can the other ones run with this early? He's 1 for 1 at Aqueduct. I like the Cox and Castellano factor. Does move up in class. Never been in stakes company before. Very fast early last time. This one may try and run off and hide. The 5 is also very fast early too. Castellano has ridden the 4 2 straight. The 8 adds the speed element too. I'm going to put a question mark next to the 4. I think 1 and 3 are enough to get it done here. I probably will shy away from adding the 4. The one thing about the 4 factor in the early speed, so that might be a spread race as well. 1, 3, 4. And hope you can get the 1 out of there who opens at 8 to 5. Now we move on to race 8. Don't know how far we're going to go. Just a little long. I'll probably not get through all 11 here, but we got a good head start. Probably be doing that show from covering Aqueduct today, so I want to be prepared in case I do. And also get something out there to give you, all of you, a head start as well to start looking at these races. Because if you're going to start late or do it on the fly, or at least not do some legwork first, it's going to be, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a challenging card. Okay, so I'm going to remove race 7, and we'll go on to race 8 here. All horse racing all the time. I'm your host, Al. On this show, this is a show for horse racing fans, but especially for the horse players out there looking to improve their game. We handicap in real time. Real time as the race cards is going off. We call the races, and excellent opportunity to see how others play, winning players play. We have audience participation, live open chat, open discussion, Q&A. We talk about the horses. We look them over from the time the boards open right up until they're getting in the gate, giving out selections shortly before the race starts. And a lot of good players here join the show on a regular basis. So it's a great opportunity, even for winning players, experienced players, to share your wisdom with others and help others improve their game as well. And have fun, open discussion, watch some horse races, win some money along the way. If you like this channel, if you like the show, hit the like button. Show you enjoy the show, and subscribe to get notifications of all new shows. This show, for example, this came on the fly. Decided to do one. I was up early, got a good night's sleep, got the coffee going. And so, yeah, you get notification of this show. You'd know it's out there and be able to either join it or see the replay. And this is a replay that actually is worth watching, because these races are later on, hours down the road today. So hopefully we, help make the handicapping process a little bit, getting some leg up with some out there today. And Karan gave some early pick 6 play. Take a look. Let's go on. Race 8. Race 8. Now we have another $100,000 stakes race. The Alex M. Robb 100K, approved for 3-year-olds and upwards, foaled in New York State, and approved by the New York State Bred Registry. All right. 1 mile. And we have 8 entries. Now here's an interesting horse. Seafoam. Seafoam is in this race. Now I did a pre-recorded video, show, a clip about winning prep races, using prep races to hit on longer ones. And my friend Robert Finaro was on the show, and I did a clip. He was talking about his Saratoga experience. You could see that video in my videos, not the live shows, but the pre-recorded shows. We put it out there a few days ago, and he played Eugene Pontecorvo on The Sopranos. He was on The Sopranos for a bunch of years, and what happened is he had a huge win with this horse, Seafoam, and he turned around hitting over $2,200 pick 4 multiple times with this horse. And I see, small world. Now this horse Seafoam is out there today. So yeah, sometimes I have guests on the show. I'm going to be planning to have guests on the show coming forward. And I'm just curious to see how Seafoam stacks up in this race. Seafoam number 6. Seafoam there's a lot of speed signed on here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that Seafoam, Robert Finaro. Robert was talking about winning the race at Saratoga on August 11th of 21, was in 100K stakes. Since that win, that big win, he's only won one other time. That was at Aqueduct in August of this year. That was at a mile. And he has the races. And what is his last race? He's running second. He's an early speed type. Michelle Giangiolo, the trainer, still has the same trainer. This one, Seafoam, has won over $817,000. $817,000 at Aqueduct, 3 for 7. At the distance, 1 for 4. Okay, nice horse, but let's look at the others. Let's see who Seafoam is up against. I think the 2, I think the 1. Okay, now this is mile. 1 has some nice races here. Rob Atras, and is a bit of a price. 2 for 11 at Aqueduct, and it has some nice races at this distance, mile. I mean, 4 of the last 5 races were overnight. I mean, this one is putting up numbers and is a price market alert. 8 to 1. 2 is a little light. We'll go down the line a little bit. Three has a big race at Saratoga in August. Finished first, Jose Ortiz. Todd Pletcher, trainer of the 3. I think the track is going to be wet today. 1 for 1 on a wet track with actually a career best effort. Has won 4 of 10 and the money 8 of 10. At Aqueduct, 4 races, a win, a second, and 2/3. And again, I like the wet track. I like Pletcher. I like Castellano. Dangerous. Some like it. Brown, number 4. No. I know it's 5 to 1. I know it's Michael Maker, mostly on the turf. 1 dirt race. 6-year-old out of Big Brown. Okay, the breeding's there. Jose Lezcano, 18% here. Michael Maker, 17% for the year. I don't think this has the speed to run with the others. I'm going to look elsewhere. Barisi, Michael Maker, another Maker entry, beaten favorite. Ran 97, almost got there with Franco up. He's ridden the last couple of times. Last race, 97, 1 1/8 in the mud. 1 for 1 at the distance. Another early speed type. Now this one might actually get the lead. One for 1 at the distance. 5 out of 6 at stakes tested, G3 tested, 200K. Wood Memorial, ran in the Wood Memorial earlier in the year. Mile, yeah, I think this one fits. So far I'm on 1 and 5. Now, if Seafoam can dig deep, likes a wet track, and has a bunch of numbers, it seems to be moving towards a good one, and it gets Carmouche again. And Seafoam is 6 to 1. Now, if we go 156, number 7 had some big races at Aqueduct, huge races at 6 furlongs back in January, February of this year. I think he's asking for too much from this one. We're going to look elsewhere there. Number 8 is going to get tested. Another 8 has some early speed. Yeah, I know it's 1-2 straight here, including a stakes. 3 for 3 at Aqueduct. I can't choose them all. Another early speed type. 5 early speed type. See, I'm going to sit tight on 156 here. And our power rankings and work off of those. Just going to check the 1 again. And Barisi and Seafoam are ranked 1, 2 in power rankings. and substitute the 1. Fletcher's 94 height. I'm putting a question mark to number 3 for a second look. We'll see what's going on when this race comes up, where it might fit, and take a look at the scratches. This way, at least if there are scratches, and one of the ones I have is scratched also, I can plug the question mark horse in. So actually, we have our live, we have some first time through stuff here, so we're looking good with that. All righty. We're getting there, folks. Do we have time to do one more? Let me just see. Then get started with some of the day stuff. Have some coffee again. Karen put out there. Karen gave out some early pick 6 stuff. Race 5. 5 is a barn burner. 3, 4, 5, 6. I definitely have the 3 and 6 in there. In the preliminary run through this card in race 7 and 6, 2, 3, 6, 7. 2, 3, 6, 7. 7, race 6. Well, 2, 3, 6, definitely I have in there. Now, I do have 7 to keep an eye on in that race. It's a Pletcher first, or Pletcher and Napoli. Race 7, 2 of the same, 1 and 4. I actually have 1 and 3 and 4 with a question mark in race 7. Race 8, I have 1, 5, 6, question mark 3. Wow, no seafoam in race 8. I do have the 1, and I have a question mark next to the 3, and I also have the 5. All right. So I'll take a look at, let's see, where are we? Race 9? What does race 9 bring here? Race 9. This is another $500,000 stakes race. New Stallion Stakes, all foals nominated. New York Stallion Stakes purse, $500,000 for 2-year-olds. Take a look at this. We actually have a first-time starter in this. You don't see first-time starters in 500K races very often. Dam number 7, Incantation. Dam has 1 winner from 2 starters and 1 stakes. Well bred. Great. 8, 9, 10, 11. Tough race. entries. 11 entries, folks. All righty. Well, I'm going to call it this. I'm going to give this wrap this up right now. Probably be back later for an Aqueduct show, covering Aqueduct today. So keep your eyes out on that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let your friends know about it. Horse racing friends. We cover the races in real time. Handicapping shows, selection shows, open chat, open discussion. Audience, there are a lot of players who join the show and share their horse racing knowledge and their selections for the races along with me. So a chance to make some money, have a good time, and watch the races. So keep your eye out. If you like the show, enjoy the show, hit the like button and let everybody know. So if you're playing today, best of luck and bring it home. Thanks for joining me this morning for some early morning preliminary handicapping. I still got 3 more to look at to get through the card there. And then, of course, there's going to be scratches, and then we're going to go back and look again. And then we'll be set to go with an idea. That's what you do. That's today, this morning, early Saturday morning, out here since 3. Got some sleep, got some coffee, and started looking over the card. You know, be prepared for horse racing. So, all right, everybody, enjoy your morning. Thanks again for watching. All the best, and talk with you soon.